Hello, and welcome back to the Web Architect Lesson 3, expanding on HTML1, HTML text formation, HTML completion, H1, div, H2, and B tags. So, on our agenda today, the formation of an HTML index file, div containers with an H1, H2, and P tags and references. So, let's start with the formation of an HTML document. Since there are many ways to formulate HTML text document, this chart may be useful to help you with the formation of HTML text. Since every HTML document begins as so, the format that we inserted in the previous video must be followed or you will get errors like these. You see that it does give you some errors on the meta links. Make sure that you don't do that. It is important to follow the formation correctly for a basic website or else you will get errors. For example, if you don't insert your doc tab HTML, it will give you an error in your Google Chrome developer console because the IDE does not know what language you are using. That will declare that it is an HTML. So then you must move into our first two HTML tags, which has everything in the file, in the index file at least. So this includes your head and your title, which is inside of your two head tags, and then you have your two head, and you also have your title, which is your, sorry for the very bad writing, but this is going to be your tab. And then down here we have our two body. So your title reference is actually what shows up in the tab. So if you insert coding.info in the tab, it'll be coding.info. So everything inside of these head is actually just running in the background of your HTML index file. It's not going to show up on this page right here. It's going to show up here, more like up here. I didn't show it. Anyway, so if you insert something like import text, you will insert it in here, and I will show that in a previous video. So this will be placed in the head section. All the information will not be present inside of HTML, such as titles for tabs and fonts imported. So, and this instead is your body section. This is what's in here. So this is what will show up. You see the hello is in your body section because it is in the body section. So div containers. So div containers and completion. So now that we practiced those and you learned the formation of an HTML text document, you must learn about div containers. So div containers are just spaces for your code to create CSS class points for text formation. They don't really do anything in the code itself. It helps with the organization of your code. You could do multiple div containers in one. So I have a div container right here. I can insert another one, another one. It's just for classing. And remember that every tag reference must be closed with another tag, or the code will not be present in the code. This is very important and crucial to ensure that your code works, because if you don't do that, you will get errors and you won't even get anything. So H1, H2, and P references. So what are these title and text HTML references? You see them everywhere pretty much, and this is your base building point for any HTML and CSS website. So your H1 is your main text for titles in HTML. H2 is sort of your subtitle. It is smaller, so think of the Microsoft Word title formats when writing. And then P, this is the reference used for smaller types of text, such as paragraphs. If you want to insert lots of text, then that is what you're going to choose. So now we're going to move in to our HTML document. So let's begin by opening up VS Code, opening up your file, and then clicking Open with Live Server. Live Server opened, and then we find it right here. Okay, so let's begin. We created our two div containers, and now we're going to do H1, and we are going to type in coding what makes it interesting. Then we're going to do a h2 tag, so remember, and we're going to do coding languages. Now, I didn't address this, but you can add something called a break. This will give you like space. You can add multiple or just one. This just gives you space. And now I'm going to do a paragraph tag, and we're going to insert, I found some text, and now we have our paragraph text. For example, I will just add a break text, and now as you can see, we have that. Now, there is a way to text, align text. Oh, apparently not. Okay. You can align text in HTML without going through CSS, which I find very useful. Others don't. It's fine. You'll learn that in the next video. So today you just basically learn how to put text in here. Very, very basic level, but some people like it. In the next lessons, I will show you how to do lead tags, UL tags. This will make your website look a little bit more interesting than just this. So final takeaways for today's lesson. We began learning basic HTML formation for HTML text and where it's supposed to be placed. We also touched on making sure that all our references are closed, giving us clear text. We also went over some basic HTML references such as H1, H2, and our paragraph references. So in our next lesson, we will be expanding on HTML2, button and button functions, expanding on div classes, and our introduction on UL and Lee classes for lists, and an A reference for external links and internal page link. Internal page link will come on the future lesson. Today will also be the first time I will be including some links for PowerPoints and course guides. Please make sure you read those. Also, and a quick announcement on lesson 5, we will be having our first course check-in. This is completely optional, but for those who just want to make sure they're understanding the content I've been teaching, I would suggest listening to that video and watching and filling out the form so you make sure that you know all the information that I covered on the first 5 lessons. So, thank you today for watching the Web Architect. I hope to see you on our next lesson. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next lesson.